Hey, today we are interviewing Ian Cuthbertson, local musician. He'll be performing live in the Song Theater very soon, August 9th, with Abe Partridge.
And live on this episode.
He is performing live on this episode. We get a little teaser for you. You're going to want to come to the concert after this. But we're excited to have Ian. Stay tuned. Welcome to Conversations with Creatives.
With the Arts Council ladies, I'm Lindsay.
I'm Leslie, and today we have Ian
Hello.
Cuthbertson. Hey, Ian.
It's great to be here.
Oh, we're so glad to have you. He's from Pelham,
Yep.
right?
Pelham, Alabama. Yep.
Awesome. So before we get to know you a little bit, Ian, we have a surprise for you.
A surprise question.
Oh, okay.
We always ask, Lindsay always comes
Yes.
up with,
The
it's
icebreaker.
very important questions, what we call it. It's very
Okay.
important. So it's very serious.
I wasn't prepared for this.
I know, that's the point.
You're going to need to do a presentation. So
You may have thought about this one, though.
maybe. I think
In your
at
lifetime.
least once everybody's thought about this one a little
Okay.
bit. So I do actually have a follow-up question, though. I would love to ask you about your hair care routine.
Okay.
But we can get into that a little bit later, too. So.
Actually, just got asked about my hair care routine at the gas station on the way here by the lady behind the counter.
I mean, you do have beautiful hair.
do
So
have
as someone with long blonde hair as well, we get it. We get it. Yeah, have proper hair care. So
You also have to have proper hair care.
you do have
For
to
the
have proper-
curly,
for the
short hair
curly.
girls.
Exactly. Yes. So okay, our very important question is, Ian, do you believe in aliens
Do I believe in aliens?
as an extraterrestrial life?
I definitely believe it's possible.
Mhm.
I don't think that I would say that I believe in the existence of aliens, but I would say that I wouldn't count it out.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
I
thought.
think
is a
that
good
the universe
question.
is pretty vast, and
Yes.
it would, I wouldn't.
It wouldn't surprise
It
you.
wouldn't surprise me if
Yeah.
there's some life somewhere out
Yeah.
there.
That's how I feel too.
I
I'm like,
that answer.
I think there's a lot of other universes and planets and systems and all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff. And I mean, if they have found like organisms on other planets.
Yeah.
Why
I mean,
can't
and you just look at the ocean too, and like
Right.
there's so much like crazy life in the ocean.
Yeah, that we don't even know about.
Yeah. Like stuff we haven't even discovered yet.
Yeah.
And so all the billions of galaxies out there, I wouldn't put it past the universe to have some extra life somewhere out there, but
I think
I haven't
sometimes
seen
they're just flying by our planet, like
Yeah.
locking the door. Like,
They don't
Don't-
want
Right.
to come
nope,
to
not,
us.
not there, not that planet.
That's right. That's why we haven't met them yet, right?
Exactly.
They're like, mm-mm.
yeah,
not
they're
them. They're a little messed up.
Yeah. Not them.
And we are, most of us.
They're like, that was the practice planet. So leave that one alone.
I like that answer because people that are like for or definitely against, it's a little, it's a little
mine.
extreme.
yeah, I'm sort of agnostic on the aliens.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what about you, Leslie?
Well, I like that answer. I'm stealing
You're,
his answer.
you're sticking with. I'm sticking with that answer
I
too.
think that's
Okay.
a really good one because I'm like,
Maybe
like you said, I haven't
Right,
seen
yeah.
them, but I've watched Stranger Things.
you have watched Stranger Things.
Those seem pretty alien-like,
Yeah.
even though that's not like a real,
We
real
don't
life
know.
show.
I mean, maybe.
Well, nowadays too, you'll see all these videos like on TikTok and all this stuff, but you can't ever tell now if it's like AI.
I know.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
What's going on? So
Exactly.
I kind of take it all with a grain of salt.
Mhm.
You know.
I know. My husband can always tell if it's AI.
Oh, yeah.
I'll show him something. He's like,
He's like, that person has 6 fingers.
so
Leslie.
Right.
AI. I'm like, I'm so gullible.
It's usually pretty easy to tell, but it's getting better and better,
It is.
and
It's
it's
getting
kind of
better.
scary how quickly it's getting to the
Right.
point where it's like, is
Yeah.
this AI?
Mhm.
Like,
We do actually have a great AI mini episode that we did where we turned ourselves into Muppets. So
oh yeah.
you'll have to go look at that one because AI thinks Leslie's a man.
I hate
And
AI.
so AI always turns.
I hate it so much.
She's very much against
Yeah.
against the AI. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We have strong
whatever.
feelings about it.
And it always comes up. I think AI
Like every
may have come up
episode.
in every episode.
Yeah. Oh really?
I think
It's-
some way or another.
Right. Yes. But the Muppets, you definitely got to go watch that mini
Okay.
episode. It's
I'll have to
I
check
love
that
that.
out.
good. Yeah. If you ever get the chance to turn yourself into a Muppet with AI, do it.
Oh, I've actually already done it.
Oh,
yeah.
awesome.
So it's kind of funny y'all mentioned
Yeah,
that.
well, you'll have to send us that photo.
Well, why don't you go to
Yeah.
our comments on that episode and
Yes.
put your Muppet photo?
we were recording an album up in Muscle Shoals at the sound studio up there, and we had some pictures from up there, and me and my friend Justin that plays mandolin for me a lot and plays in some other bands too, but we were promoting like just like a small restaurant gig that we were playing around town, and we just took that picture and turned it into the Muppets thing, and it was pretty funny.
It's pretty good. It's
so
pretty.
funny.
We had a fun day doing that.
Y'all were one of the 2 million that got to do it.
Yeah,
Before they shut it down.
ChatGPT shut it down.
They shut
really?
it down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they've outlawed Muppet
Yeah.
pictures now.
I think so.
I think it's just because of copyright.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the lawyers of the Muppets were the
Yeah.
ones that shut it down. So
It's so
Wow.
funny how quickly that must have been like the same day for
yeah,
everyone.
yeah, probably.
Man,
Yeah.
that's something.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That studio is pretty cool in Muscle Shoals.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been up there twice now. I recorded with a friend of mine, Stephen Lane, who's from around here as well.
Mhm.
And I'm not exactly sure what city he lives in, but I know he's from the Shelby County area,
Okay.
or at least lives in the Shelby County area now. But I recorded an album with him about a year ago up there, and he's just actually started releasing some singles off of it. And I played a little bit of pedal steel and a little bit of slide guitar on that with him, and
That's awesome.
dabbled in a little. I played some organ on it too.
Man.
Wow. So what
but,
all do you play?
Right?
I just sort of pick up instruments and try my hand at it, and if it, mostly stringed instruments, but I can't play fiddle, so don't ask me to play
Oh,
fiddle.
wow.
Well, darn it. That's exactly what we were going to ask you to
Right.
play today.
Got one in my back pocket. So get you playing.
But I can play a little bit of banjo, a little bit of pedal steel, some keys, a little bit of drums, bass, but I'm mostly a guitar player. And started writing songs and singing, and that's kind of my main
Awesome.
thing.
Did you just like pick it up on your own, or do you come from a family that's musical?
Well,
or?
my dad had some guitars when I was growing up, and my cousin Mark, who has his own original project called Fantastic Boom, which is a really cool thing. It's very different from what I do, but he's a little bit older than me, but he's about the only other person in my family that really does like music, especially to a professional level at least. But my dad had a few guitars when I was growing up, and he had like a record collection, a lot of like old country and Allman Brothers and Grateful Dead, and
I could see, like, I was listening to your music earlier.
Yeah.
I could definitely see how that would influence,
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
influence your music. Do you describe it? I'm really bad at describing music. I'm like, yeah, it's a guitar.
Yeah.
They sing in guitar. I don't know what else
Right.
to. Is it like bluegrassy?
Well-
singer songwriter.
Yeah.
Those are all the words I
That's
know.
all she knows.
That's
That's
right.
it. That's the extent
That's the
of
extent.
describing music for Lindsay.
Well, I mean, I don't know how I would necessarily class myself as an artist. I try to avoid doing that, but I would say like certain albums that I've released, I've sort of targeted in a certain direction of like back in December, we cut a bluegrass album, and I would definitely just straight up call that it was kind of like a gospel bluegrass album. And then, I've done some other stuff that's almost like pop music. It was kind of satirical a little bit, but it was just
I love
kind
it.
of messing around with some different sounds. And but I would say for the most part, I would say that I kind of live in the country Americana slash like. But I like experimenting and kind of using weird sounds, like getting a little bit psychedelic and
Yeah.
Like old
Yeah.
Beach Boys, like
yeah,
Pet
Beach
Sounds.
Boys,
usually.
they had some cool albums, and that definitely inspired me to make some just strange experimental stuff. I feel like music nowadays, especially in the mainstream of things, like kind of avoids getting experimental,
Yeah.
and I was very heavily inspired growing up listening to like 60s and 70s music.
Because it's what our parents listened to.
Yeah. Oh, and it's just
stuff.
great
Good
music.
stuff.
Yeah. It's like timeless music. And
Or it's commercialized.
yeah,
Right.
right. Yeah. It was kind of back when like artists were being rebellious against the music industry. And nowadays it seems like artists there are a lot of great artists that I know of right now that are doing the same thing. But it seems like in the mainstream of things, like a lot of artists are just kind of conforming to the sort of the status quo of like what's selling right now. And and I kind of wanted to avoid that just because I feel like my whole thing as an artist is to sort of shake things up a little bit and be hopefully inspiring to other artists that are afraid to like step out on a limb and do something different, you know?
Right.
And you know, kind of just go against the machine a little bit.
Rage
against the machine.
Since Ian and I go way back. I mean, way back.
To like 45 minutes ago.
Yeah. No, but like, remember like last week, I slid into his DMs.
That's right.
To be fair, it was from. It was
on
always
our
going to say that. It was from our arts council
Right.
account. It wasn't me personally.
And to be fair, you don't know who you're talking to on
That's
there
right.
because several of us have access to that account. So.
But to be fair, you never know who you're talking to, kids.
exactly on the internet.
That's true.
Just say safety, you know,
Yeah, safety tip.
safety tip here. Anyway, I digress. But Ian would say he doesn't want to fit in a box, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I hate being like classified as or you know, just growing up in school. We were talking about this earlier. School always made me feel, you know, like this pressure to be conformed to something that I wasn't. And I felt like my natural innate response as like a human was to kind of rebel against that a little bit. And, you know, I struggled a lot as a kid to fit in or, you know, just find my purpose in life just because I felt very constrained by what everybody else around me was telling me I needed to be, you know, whether that was school or whatever. But yeah, and so I became a musician.
There you go, right?
I mean, I think a lot of people have like end up leaning into creative like art or music or something. I mean, I felt that way too. And like I'm a visual artist. And so I went to the art room every day in high school. That was my jam. Hung out there. I had a teacher that was like, you know, really accepting of all of us. So yeah, I mean, I think that's really important to have those outlets because if you don't, it's very, very isolating.
Right. Yeah, I feel like a lot more people than we realize feel that way.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's a very understated thing.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. And I mean, I think especially like online, you're trying to like portray one version of yourself.
Yeah.
And like, I've got it all together and whatever. And,
Oh, yeah.
You know, we definitely don't.
yeah.
We definitely don't have it all.
Yeah, no,
Well,
I can
not
assure
at
you
all.
that I don't. And honestly, that it's awesome that you brought that up because I think one of the other main things that drives me as an artist is vulnerability. Like just showing other people through my music how I'm not perfect and how there's space to be, you know, sort of just messed up. You know, we live in a crazy world, you know, and it's not uncommon to feel that way. And I think it just needs to be talked about more and portrayed more.
Especially like some of your songs talking about Jesus in your songs, because especially is it long-haired hippie redneck Jesus?
Yeah.
Yes, that's one of them. I definitely,
right.
whenever I heard that song, I was like, I get it.
Right. Yeah. That, and I was very surprised with how well people received that song. When I wrote it, well, so it goes a little further back than when I actually wrote it. I was actually hanging out at one of my friends' houses down in like Chilton County out in the country. And I was, you know, just hanging out in his backyard. He had a pool and everything. And he's the kind of guy that just friends will come over anytime. Just show up whenever. And this guy that I didn't know at the time came up and he was like, man, that guy back there looks like long-haired hippie redneck Jesus. And I didn't hear about this until like later that evening. My friend was like, hey, you got to tell him what you said earlier. And the guy told me, oh yeah, you look like long-haired hippie redneck Jesus. And so I didn't really think much of it at the time. I was just like, oh, that's kind of funny. And probably months went by, and I was just sitting around trying to write a song one day, and that phrase just like popped up in my head, and I was like, like I can do something with that.
This is yeah.
And it wound up kind of being like sort of my anthem of like, yeah, sort of being imperfect and, you know, how I've struggled a lot in life, and found Jesus last year, actually. And, you know, it just changed me, and it showed me how much like all the struggle that I've gone through in my life was, you know, it wasn't all this weight that I felt on my shoulders. I had sort of been carrying this weight that wasn't meant for me. And, and Jesus, you know, just showed up in a very real way for me. And took that load off for me and said, you don't have to carry it, you know?
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I heard that in a lot of your songs. Like, yeah, it definitely like comes through. So I just like that authentic experience of like, hey, this is how it happened for me, you know?
Yeah. Oh, and it was very, I mean, it gets crazy. If I really, I mean, I can go into detail. I mean, I don't know if I should even say some of this, but
why not? She's
but yeah,
girls,
hey, we'll get real. We'll get real. So, I mean, I struggled a lot with drugs and alcohol in my early 20s, and you know, even through the past couple of years, it's still been a struggle for me. And I wouldn't even say that I totally have a grip on it, you know. But I was driving down the interstate, tripping on mushrooms one time. I know this is getting crazy.
Hey, that's okay.
And it was something I shouldn't have been doing, you know. Obviously, that's a terrible idea. I wouldn't recommend it, kids.
Put a warning label.
But yeah, and this state trooper pulls up behind me, and he's got his lights on. And I'm like, uh-oh, here it is. Like, I'm going to jail. And I had like some more mushrooms in my center console. And I was like, well, I guess I just need to eat these. So
oh boy.
So I don't have anything on me. That's what was going through my crazy mind at this time. Wow. And so I kid you not, I heard this voice from the sky tell me, just trust me, Ian. Oh, and I put the shrooms back in the center console, and I closed it, and the cop that had been following me for about a minute with his lights on goes over to the next left lane and pulls somebody else over. Wow. And I was just like, oh, like God is real. I believe. Like, I know that sounds insane to a lot of like Christians, that I would experience God in that way, but that is kind of the message of my music, is that God found me in a very, you know, just unusual, crazy circumstance that, and I think that's how he actually finds a lot of people. You know, I think that there's this misconception that you have to be clean and have your life figured out before you can find Jesus. And in a church. And
I think a lot of people can relate to that story.
Absolutely.
You know? I think it's more common than you think.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's just probably not talked about a lot.
Right. It's not talked about. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's the best place to find for God to get you, is when you're rock bottom.
Oh yeah.
You know,
when you're on the interstate tripping on mushrooms.
Yep.
Right.
That's where you find God.
Exactly. That's awesome. Well, and the long-haired, what is it? Hippie redneck Jesus. That, I think it's your most played song, right?
I think it is. Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
By the way, on Spotify, we were reading about, what was it? The Grateful Dead.
The Grateful Dead cover band.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
That's really cool.
I forgot that was in my,
are you still in that band?
Yeah, actually, we've got a show coming up pretty soon at a venue in Birmingham called Elysian Gardens. We're playing, it's on August 1st, and it's going to be like, I believe that's Jerry Garcia's birthday. Oh, wow. If not very close to it. But yeah, it's some of the best musicians in Birmingham. We got together about 3 years ago and just started this Grateful Dead cover band. It's called Dead for Love, and yeah, it's a big passion project for me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, like my original stuff is sort of my artist. Like that's where I really focus a lot of my time. But the Dead Band is really just like a fun thing to, and we've built up a great crowd that loves to come out every time we play anywhere in town. And yeah, it's just a fun thing to do.
That's awesome. What do you play?
Just all Grateful Dead cover like
what
songs.
What instrument?
Oh, I play guitar in that band. Yeah,
Okay.
and there's another guitarist and a keyboard player, and we often have 2 drummers and then our bass player.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's cool.
Awesome. We have actually not had a Grateful Dead tribute band at the Arts Council.
I know.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
We have had Johnny Cash.
yeah. Cashback.
Cashback.
Yeah.
We've had the Led Zeppelin several times. We
Allman
have the
Brothers.
Beatles, Allman Brothers, but
Yeah.
we have not had a Grateful Dead. So
We'll have to work that out.
Exactly. Right.
I saw y'all had the Steely Dan, the Major Dudes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Major
The-
Dudes.
So Daniel and Will
Yes.
both play in that band. They play in the Dead Band.
and,
with me
yeah,
too.
I think Daniel's played at the Arts Council a couple of times.
Yeah.
Or some other groups.
Well, there
Right.
you go.
The Little Rain
Future
Band.
show.
Yeah, the Little Rain Band. Yeah.
Before.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are all friends of mine.
Yeah,
And
they're really
a lot of
talented.
and a lot of them have played on a lot of my stuff as well. Daniel Rain and Davis Little both played on an album, that bluegrass album that we put back. Long Haired Hippie Redneck Jesus is the name of that album. And yeah, Davis and Haley Black and Justin Oliver and Ryan Brown. And Kendall Minter, we all just got together and there was a really cool way to record. I've never done anything like that. And I guess it's not really a common way to record albums these days. Is we just set up mics in front of everybody and there was a room mic in the center of the room. And we just started playing songs live in the room, just sitting around in a circle.
Oh, wow. That's cool. It's pretty cool.
And like 10 of the songs were ones that I wrote. And then we did like a couple like traditional like spiritual cover tunes, like Working on a Building, and there's another one on there that's like an a cappella song called Gone Away with a Friend.
Oh, I like acapella music.
But yeah, oh, me too.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry,
Davis-
you'll get your chance to perform together
I
later.
know, right? Together. So, Davis Little and Haley.
Black,
Yeah, they've played. I think they played with Sean, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
Yeah, Sean D.
In one of his shows, probably a
they're-
couple of years ago.
They're incredible musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've recorded some stuff at the Arts Council
Oh,
before. Yeah, on the stage.
That's really cool.
They did Strawberry Fields or something.
Okay, yeah, I think
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
I believe I've seen that video.
It's a video. Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, they blow my mind
Yeah.
every time I see them play.
I know it's incredible that they're local.
Right? Yeah.
all these people he's mentioning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
There's
Birmingham is just packed with just underrated talent. There's so many good artists in the central Alabama and just Alabama in general right now seems to be just a
Blowing up.
hot spot for
Red Clay Strays.
Yeah, Red Clay Strays.
They played twice at our venue. And Abe Partridge, who
Abe
you're playing
Partridge,
with
yeah.
on August
Yeah.
9th.
Yep.
He's from Mobile.
Yeah.
Do you know Abe? Have you?
I've never met him personally, but my friend Drayton Farley, who's also another great Alabama musician, he kind of introduced me to Abe's music and artwork. I don't know, maybe about a year ago, and I just was like, whoa, this is really different and cool. So I've been a fan of Abe for about a year, and I was really, really excited to get to open for him.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
I think both of your music
Yeah.
goes well with
It
each other.
complements
It
each other.
complements-
Right. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
really
he
neat.
has a wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
It's so interesting.
Which is this is where your important question.
It kind of the alien question.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah.
have
The
you
Alabama
Have you
astronauts.
listened
Yeah.
to How
Oh,
This
yeah.
Podcast? Okay, I've listened to most of it, and
The podcast?
Yes, the podcast.
I haven't listened to the podcast.
Yeah.
I've listened to his music, though.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, and
I
was that
hadn't-
one of his bands? Was Alabama Astronaut a band, or is that just what his? I thought
I
that's
couldn't
just what-
comment on that.
Okay.
I'm not too sure, but I just know I know the song.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
the podcast is called that, and so I said something to Leslie.
I haven't
about
listened to the podcast
Abe's
either, and I
podcast,
need to.
Alabama Astronaut, and she said,
Yeah, I called him. I said, I wonder if he's an alien wrangler.
and
I don't know. There's no telling what comes out of my mouth.
And I was like, that's not what the
alien
podcast is
wrangler.
about.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
astronaut. I don't know.
Hey, honestly, after hearing his music, it wouldn't surprise me.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Or his story.
Maybe he had a brief stint and
Snake Wrangler,
Mhm.
Alien Wrangler, whatever.
Yeah, it would make sense. So yeah, that was really funny. I was like, you need to listen to the podcast because that's not what it's about.
Right. So it's just sort of a general podcast that he does. And
Well, he actually
It's somebody else that kind of interviews him.
yes, but
Okay.
he was going around and like documenting these music
Right.
from like all these churches, like small churches.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You would just have to listen to the podcast. Please don't take my
Right,
word on
no.
it. But he went to these churches that did like snake handling.
Snake handling.
And
Okay.
he was trying to, there's like no documentation of these songs. They're just not recorded. And so they went around and they were recording, and I haven't listened to the whole podcast, but
Right.
it's really, really interesting.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I definitely suggest listening to
I
it.
did
It's-
listen to a little bit of it
Mhm.
before this, and
Yeah.
it is. He
Oh, yeah.
recorded it on like a little Sony recorder. or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
just took it around. He said
Yeah.
sometimes the music was so loud it would just blow out the recorder.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's really
I
interesting.
know, right?
But it's like, I mean, he would like go into these backwoods churches and meet people. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty wild.
Oh, you'll meet some interesting characters
yeah.
at some of these country
Absolutely.
churches.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. And okay, so recently you got to play at Liberty Day in Columbia.
Yeah.
Right.
Your
That was
first
very
time?
fun. Yeah, that was the first time doing that. We performed as like a 4-piece bluegrass
Okay.
band. And there were a couple other artists on that lineup that that I'm very familiar with. Ben Chapman, he lives up in Nashville, but I've opened up for him before. And I know Michael Warren was playing out there, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
they Red Clay Strays played there a couple of years ago.
Really?
That's how
Wow.
we met them. Yeah.
okay, wow.
Yeah, they
So
were like the headliner for Liberty Day a couple years
Okay,
ago.
cool.
And
Yeah.
so that's Bruce, our boss, met him, and then
Right.
he invited them to the Arts Council, and then they exploded, and now
Yeah.
they're too
Yeah.
expensive to book. So
Right, yeah.
well, good
Yeah.
for them. Good for
Ian also met Bruce and George through coming to a bluegrass jam.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
probably about 2, maybe 3 years. I don't even know. That was
Yeah,
that was a couple years ago.
Right.
We do still have the Bluegrass Jam at the
I
Arts
know,
Council.
yeah.
It's on a Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's on a Wednesday now.
Yes.
The first Wednesday of every month.
There you go.
There you go.
Just go there on a Tuesday or
Yeah,
a
a
Wednesday.
Tuesday
and
or
Yeah,
Wednesday.
show up.
just
Or
see what
jam.
happens.
Just look on
Whatever.
Facebook
That's right.
or
Right.
call.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they love it when we got the younger kids coming in.
yeah. It was very cool. It was,
Younger
The younger kids.
The youngins.
yeah, it was a cool experience. Just walking up into the theater there, and everybody was just sitting around in a circle playing.
And you can
Playing
play
old
or
bluegrass
just watch
tunes.
either one.
Yeah.
So
No.
Yeah,
yeah,
pretty fun.
Well, so speaking of playing, I think you were going to actually play a
Yes.
little,
Sure.
play a little tune
Play a
for
little
us
ditty for
right
us.
now.
cool.
A little live in
I
the
know,
in the
right?
studio.
Let's
What
see.
you playing?
Um,
He hasn't decided yet.
I
folks.
haven't decided yet. Do y'all have one that y'all have listened to that y'all want to hear?
I like the Redneck Jesus.
Okay, I can do that.
Redneck Jesus. Here you go.
I
You
gotta
couldn't
get a
fit
pick for this
non-Jewish in there. That was a little too long.
Non-Jewish,
Had to put that in there.
You could
Sorry.
try.
right?
Try.
But yeah, this song is sort of like I said earlier. It's sort of about how Jesus met me in a place where I hadn't like figured out my life or cleaned up, and I was, still, struggling with certain things, and I still struggle with certain things, and that didn't keep him from, having a relationship with me. And it says in the Bible about that in our weakness, God's strength is made perfect, and just kind of being vulnerable and humble, and realizing that like I don't have it figured out on my own. So that's kind of why I wrote this song. But
Awesome.
anyway, it's called Long Haired Hippie Redneck Jesus. Well, I don't know about heaven, but I've sure walked through hell. I've spent my life locked inside this lonesome prison cell. The door was always open, though I stumbled through the dark. It took me way too long to let Jesus in my heart. They call me long-haired hippie redneck Jesus. Well, I ain't Jesus, but I'm sure trying to be. Yeah, they call me long-haired hippie redneck Jesus. But I drink too much beer and smoke too much weed. Well, my friends know I can get rowdy, and I've told a few lies. I've had my share of women, Lord, they leave me high and dry. And I tried to drink away my sorrows with a bottle of red wine. But that bar stool gets a little wobbly when it comes closing time. And they call me long-haired hippie redneck Jesus. Well, I ain't Jesus, but I'm sure trying to be. Yeah, they call me long-haired hippie redneck Jesus. But I drink too much beer and smoke too much weed. Well, I've spent my time trying to fill a hole the size of infinity. But finding love in Jesus was the only remedy. With Christ I was crucified, I gave myself to thee. Now it's no longer I who lives, but Christ who lives in me. And they call me long-haired hippie redneck Jesus. Well, I ain't Jesus, but I'm sure trying to be. Yeah, they call me long-haired hippie redneck Jesus. But I drink too much beer and smoke too much weed. Well, I'm a low-down, dirty sinner, and my heart is made of stone. Samson killed 1,000 men with an old jawbone. Well, I've boasted and I've lusted, for my sins I cannot atone. But through the Lord's forgiveness, He's gonna take me home. And they call me long-haired hippie redneck Jesus. Well, I ain't Jesus, but I'm sure trying to be. Yeah, they call me long-haired hippie redneck Jesus. Well, I came as I was, and He set me free.
Nice. Man, good ending too. I love it.
I should have brought my ukulele. I
Right,
could have
yes,
ruined the
from-
song for you.
I can do a little egg shake.
Exactly. Yes.
That's awesome.
That was really
well,
good.
if you want to hear more of that, you better get your tickets now for him opening Ian Cuthbertson with Abe Partridge very soon.
On.
August the 9th, people.
And you can
Right.
find tickets at
ShelbyCountyArtsCouncil.com.
Woo.
We hope you'll come and join us. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having
So
me.
excited about
Where
it.
can
enjoyed it.
where can people find more information?
Yes.
Well, you can find me on like Spotify and Apple Music or wherever else you stream your music at Ian Cuthbertson. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all that fun stuff. So yeah,
Just your name.
just sort of just search my
Ian,
name.
Yep. That's
I'm
right.
sort of I sort of
You're the only one
I'm
out
laid
there.
back with my social media
That's
presence
right.
and everything,
Well,
but
you don't share a name with many, do you?
Yeah.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's IANCUTHBERTSON.
Just
There
like
you
it
go.
sounds.
Now you can find
Exactly.
it. Now you can find
I
it.
know.
And be sure to follow us at the Arts Council _ladies. We are now on Instagram.
Yeah.
We have a couple of posts, or you can always find us at Shelby _county_arts, and also at ShelbyCountyArtsCouncil.com. Like, subscribe. There's some buttons down there
Do
at the bottom.
buttons, do all the things.
Do the buttons, do the comments, all the things. So,
please.
yeah.
And go find him on all his meetings.
and then come see us at the Shelby County Arts Council in Columbiana, Alabama, August
Yes.
9th.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
watching. Bye.